What's up, Scyushi Squad? We back in some more Trove, and today we're going to be covering the Lunar Lancer in our 35k series. Now, keep in mind, I don't have an ideal Lancer. I'm actually still using a Crystal 1 Spear. I know, that's pretty bad, and I'm sorry about that. It's just, it would take way too long to end up grinding the Spear. Maybe we'll end up revisiting Lancer at a future date. It shouldn't make too much of a difference in terms of being able to handle U10. And honestly speaking, I have very low expectations for how the character is going to handle the delves anyways. I know that he's going to be able to handle U10. I'm just going to be surprised how good or bad it is going to do it. But Lunar Lancer is actually one of the faster characters in the game. Now, before we get started with today's video, I gotta let you guys know, if you're new to Trove, you can use that sign up link down in the description, and then anything you end up buying out of the cash shop, I'll make a percentage of that sale. It's an awesome way you can support me by literally just playing the game and buying stuff that you would otherwise buy. Now, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be hopping in U10, spending 5 minutes doing dungeons, and then we're gonna hop into the delves somewhere around like deeper than 115, that's for sure. And it's probably not going to end up being that big of a deal. Now, my gear is not 100% ideal as well. Like the movement speed, okay, that's good. Actually, no, this is good. Okay, I thought that I had attack speed on some of these, because the thing is with Lunar Lancer, you don't need attack speed because you're literally just using your number 1 over and over, which is actually exactly why Lunar Lancer doesn't keep up with a lot of the other characters in the game, just because of the fact that there's no way to augment this. Like, if this was affected by attack speed, could you imagine how powerful this class could end up being? Not to say that the character isn't powerful. Not by any means. Like, Lunar Lancer should be able to handle this just fine, and is definitely in the top 3 as far as a speed character is concerned, because Lunar Lancer naturally has some of the highest base movement speed. Like, you actually get certain stats based on the classes that you are, and Lunar Lancer is one of them where he actually ends up getting a really high movement speed. I might have to go to do not disturb and hide mode or something, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, we're just gonna go for it. I hope that I have like pyro disc and stuff like that, and I hope that I also have am I rocking all of the right things? Well, I guess I should be using Martial. Trailblazing's good. Yeah, okay. Now, the other thing too is I pretty much, can you get off of my hotbar, for the love of God? I pretty much have to, like, I was rushing like a class gem because I didn't actually have one for my yellow gem slot. So, I mean, it's not a perfect gem, so keep that in mind. This is not like the absolute, oh my god, this character's super duper strong. Can you... So, we seem to be able to damage these guys just fine if they would actually stay still, but it seems like I'm being followed. So let me actually go to hide mode, go to the club, and let me set up a new world here. See, the thing is, you guys will have to pardon me. I will admit I'm in a bit of a rush today because, you know, it's Easter Sunday and we got some people coming over for dinner and everything like that. So I'm trying to get this recorded as quickly as possible just because I'm kind of on a time limit. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a video today. There might not even be anything else today other than this. Maybe a stream, but that'll probably be later tonight. Who knows? So, boop, you can see, I mean, our pyro disc alone is already destroying these things, which is hilarious. Pyro disc is doing 14 mil, or is that our number 1 seems to do, so it does 20 mil, and then was that a 40 mil that I saw on the rebound? Because that's actually considerable. Like, I don't know why I had lower expectations for Lancer than the class should actually have. Like, yeah, like, we seem to be able to do just fine. Okay, so what about like a full-on boss? Okay, yeah, so that's where it gets a little bit slower, but you gotta consider I didn't pop a flask and we were still able to like 4-shot him. If I do pop a flask, then whatever we're fighting is more than likely dead. Now, this is one thing that's a little bit disappointing about doing this during the Easter event, is I probably should pull out a dragon or something like that, because unfortunately all the 1-star dungeons have been replaced by eggs. It's difficult to get inside them because you basically need to use a dragon to bust your way through, but then excuse me, but then on top of that, there's less dungeons. Like, there's less 1-star dungeons, and it's weird, dude. Like, I don't know why it does that. It did it last year as well, but anyways, I'll end up popping a flask when we fight this next boss. Good god, the lag. It seems like Lunar Lancer is just fine, though. And as far as speed is concerned, I can guarantee you guys he's going to end up being really, really good. Why did I even... Right. I forgot his class gem just creates, like, clones of himself, and it's probably one of the most useless class gems in the entire game. I didn't even need to go for one today. Oh, well. So if I pop a flash, what's going to happen? Will my hits ever register? Okay, so when they register, that thing died, like, right away. But... obviously, you know, we're dealing with lots of lag and stuff as well. Like, it's just, it's not the best day for this, honestly. It really isn't. Let me see if I can end up finding an error. Okay, well, this guy'll settle a score here. Hi-ya! Okay, so that basically was the same as doing like a normal boss of a dungeon or something. I guess I'll just, you know what I'm gonna do, since we're gonna have to skip these eggy-weggy dungeons, I'm just gonna like teleport around. Like, it's a little bit annoying, but I'll stop my timer and start it again so that we kind of get an even amount. I mean, the timer is more so just for the sake of keeping track of, like, okay, we've done enough gameplay, you know, at the end game to kind of show it off. And, I mean, of course, if we end up using our ult, pretty much everything is dead. Like, that's just kind of a given. Which, can I please, oh my god, Lunar Lancer's so, like, speedy, it's actually tough to, like, navigate dungeons with him, dude. I still don't like the, like, that's my biggest gripe with Lunar Lancer, is if you find this gameplay fun of just doing your #1 ability over and over, then you're set. But if you don't find it fun, like me, then you won't want to main Lunar Lancer, because that's the problem, is this is it. This is the Lunar Lancer's gameplay. It's his gameplay from the beginning of the game. It's his gameplay at the end of the game. Like, there's no reason to end up using any of your other abilities. Outside of, you know, the grappling hook is a lot of fun, but it's a gimmick. And then your ultimate ability, though useful in certain situations, isn't going to make as much of a difference. The biggest problem that I have with your #1 ability is that it's inconsistent, as you can see. Like, sometimes we're actually having our animation cut itself off, and we're just doing the first swing over and over, like the sweep attack, rather than the follow-up. And the follow-up is where most of the damage is. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Oh, God. I hate this dungeon, but we'll do it just for the sake of, you know, actually killing things. Stop it, game. Stop it. I still do like the ultimate of the Lunar Lancer, dude. It looks really, really cool. As far as delves are concerned, I think that it's pretty safe to say that, you know, we're going in there pretty much for no reason. Like, I'll show you guys what it's like when we're in delves, but Lunar Lancer's gonna end up just kind of falling off, I assume, just because of the lack of damage tempo, I guess. Because it's not that Lunar Lancer is lacking in damage, it's that there's no way to augment the amount of damage output that we can do, you know? Like it's like he kind of reaches his ceiling very, very quickly. And that's kind of the issue with the character. There's no big boy Chungus attack mode, you know, where you just absolutely obliterate everything. Outside of, obviously, you know, we got our ult and stuff like that, but I am expecting similar results of the Candy Barb, where I'm probably going to end up getting really frustrated fighting the Delves boss. I mean, as far as U10 is concerned, it's no question. You can definitely end up using this character for the end game. Lots of people are always curious about it, but I mean, there you go. So let me actually head into the club and set up a Delves portal, and hopefully it's not going to be a train wreck. All right, so we're chilling in Delve depth 119, so this should be a good example. Oh, okay, so these enemies seem to be okay. I mean, the biggest problem we're going to be dealing with is needing to vacuum all these enemies in, which they seem to just be spontaneously combusting. I mean, I guess that's what bees do best, right? But the thing is, I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that we're actually doing enough damage. I mean, obviously, it's just because of the depth that we're in. Normal enemies are of course not going to be the prime example here. Like, the biggest problem is going to be what ends up happening when we end up getting to the boss, which that I'm fully expecting is going to go horribly wrong. I mean, the thing is, you can, like, Lunar Lancer, as you can see, is useful in the Delves just because, oh my god, what a speedster, right? And speed characters are definitely useful in the Delves just because you'll be able to actually, like, you know, get to the end to help your buddies. That scared me. I thought, like, what is this weird player coming at me? That was very strange. But most of all, it's because if I put that, you know, the Pathfinder on the ground or whatever, like, look at the base movement speed of this character. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Getting through all of this is gonna be a bit tedious. I'm honestly just kind of flabbergasted at the fact that the Lunar Lancer seems to be doing just fine. Especially the movement speed, though. Like, once again, like, if you want to use Lancer, like, if it's the only character that you can main, then I would suggest you're probably not going to be fighting that many enemies in Delves. I mean, you know, if you're getting up to the enemies faster than the other classes can, sure, you could put some damage into it. Why not? But you're most of all just going to be used as rush to the end so that you can get the objective done of getting to the boss, so that's going to end up helping everybody out. It seems like we got really, really bad objective, though. Like, it seems like it generated with way too many enemies to kill, and unfortunately Lunar Lancer doesn't really have the best method of killing. Like, it's gonna take a while, because it's like all we can really do is just poke each individual enemy with a fork. I mean, I guess I could be dropping down my ult, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much. Like, you can see, it's just gonna help a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Either way, objective done. So Pathfinder on the ground, and let's go gadget go. Look at this Lunar Lancer speed. Jesus Christ. Like, that's the thing. If you have, like, you know, Pyro Disc and your I was gonna say Raptor Berserker, but no, you'd have to have your, is it Animated Jug? Is that the speedy one? Yeah, that's the one. So you'd be using Animated Jug instead of Raptor Berserker, and just having all of it trigger and all the stars line up ends up making the Lancer like super duper speedy, even in just normal U10. So I guess we'll be using Unyielding and Martial. Not really much reason to use anything else. All right, this is probably gonna end up being terrible, but let's just go for it. So we're just using our number one, just casually gonna use our number one all the way, and it's not that bad. Granted, we're not at super deep depths. Like, when I was on my barb, we were at depth like 122 or something, and that's usually when things start getting a little bit harder. But this is actually not awful. I'm honestly surprised. Like, I thought our damage was just going to fall off pretty badly, but this is actually not that bad. And I could probably just sit here and tank this guy, because even if he hits me enough, okay, he seems to not be hitting me very much at all for some reason, but he'll make my potions, you know, go off anyways. Using our ult ability seems to really complement the damage, at least for a short while. Maybe that's where I was kind of surprised, just because the damage that we have when our ult is going off is actually pretty good. Now we got big boy mode, which would have been better if we ended up having our ult. What about our little baby? Oh, the clone is actually doing it's not doing too bad. I mean, it died in like one hit because, you know, the clone minion allies are usually useless, but I don't know. I mean, it's still, like, you can see you're still gonna be doing, like, even though I'm surprised that Lunar Lancer is doing decent, any other character, dude, like, just take all of your gems from your Lunar Lancer, put your physical gems on another character, and you're going to just do a little bit better. Like, if you're using Vanguard, you're probably doing better damage output than this. And that's kind of the sad thing, though, is when you compare the physical damage characters to all of the magic characters, like, the weird thing is that the delves, like, just don't really work with physical characters. I'm gonna try and dance around here because I'm noticing that I'm getting really low on flasks. It's a little difficult to do just because the Lunar Lancer moves so dang much. I gotta rotate my mouse like a crazy person. Yikes, and it's still not actually working out. Maybe I should dodge the other way, but that's just going to give me carpal tunnel, so no thank you. Get out of here, you jerk face. Are we even going to be able to get him? Like, maybe I should have been dodging a little bit more this whole time instead of just sitting there being overly confident. You know what? This is gonna be the most epic duel ever. Okay, he just randomly decided to explode. Whatever. Cool. Anyways, there you go, guys. That's the Lunar Lancer at 35k. Obviously not the absolute best example of the character being at the true 100% end game. It's not like I have absolute perfect stats. My class gem isn't fully maxed out or anything because I just got it. But this is still a pretty good example of what you can expect. So as far as just doing U10 and grinding dungeons, top tier, definitely top tier. A little bit boring just because you're reliant on your number 1 ability, but you are a speedster character. And then in the delves, speed, sure. Killing bosses and stuff, you're kind of a fly. You know, you're like a mosquito just biting at it and not really doing that much. Anyways, hopefully you found this video entertaining and helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Sign on and stay epic, gamers.